medical illnesses that can hinder the ability to live independently in the community. They are accredited by the Joint Commission of Medicare Medicaid Certified. In 2011, Comfort Home Care purchased the old Fox Nissan dealership, which I remember was an eyesight, on Pelham Street, and rehabilitated the property to a 45,000 square foot medical office. Brendan also put down at the end, and this is, I thought was fantastic, that Comfort Home Care is proud to fly the flag of the United States of America in front of the building, as the company and building itself are a testament to the American dream. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon House from Comfort Home Care.
I'm not really going to say anything, but the flag is back up. I told them we had to have it up by tonight because it was a big night for us. But the flag is a testament not only to my American dream, but everybody else. We have 300 people that work there. About half of them actually have come from other countries, have come over here, became citizens, and are now working hard in our community. So it's my American dream as well as about 300 people that work for me. So thank you very much.
So the plaque reads, proudly we held business, Comfort Home Care, in recognition of the spirit of patriotism for proudly and properly displaying the American flag day and night. Methuen Exchange Club 2013. And Brandon, we have all the citations I mentioned earlier, and a new flag. I don't know if this flag is the proper size for your big flagpole, but it'll work. Congratulations. The Book of Golden Deeds. Don't get nervous, Linda. It's going to be great. You're going to have the microphone longer than me because I am not going to read through all of your accomplishments. But I just wanted to just mention this to the group. The Methuen Exchange Club works a lot of activities with the Methuen-Arlington neighborhood. We do food baskets twice a year. We sponsor a Christmas party each year. I think we give like $1,200. We have Kenny Willett. He plays Santa Claus. I told Linda this year's outfit, you might have to go to Malden Mills for some extra material. Only kidding. But no, Kenny does a good job. And we also did some backpacks for school this year. I mean, for 21 years, Linda has served the neighborhood as an activist concerned about safety and welfare. She has worked diligently to make sure that the families in the neighborhood had a voice. I mean, the center on Tenney Street, I was in there the other day, shame on me, for the first time. And it's incredible what the after-school programs and her entire staff does. It's unbelievable. She works full-time in the Greater Lawrence Community Action Council as the Program Director for Fuel Assistance. In 1995, they established the Methuen-Arlington Neighborhood Incorporated group to increase and enhance entrepreneurial opportunities for the neighborhood, investment, realization of activities, and self-sufficiency of low and moderate income residents. The list goes on and on. Is her husband Norman here? Yes. When do you ever see her? Or her kids, her children? Her children, Nicole, Jennifer, Stephanie, and Robert, and then she has 3 grandchildren, Sarah, Anthony, and Nicholas. Is mom or grandma ever around at home? All the time? I don't know what else to say, but I think we captured enough in this write-up. So ladies and gentlemen, the 2013 recipient of the Book of Golden Deeds, Linda Sousa.
just want you to know it's only 19 pages long.
Good filling time for me, Linda.
Yes, so you can get a drink, whatever you want. In all seriousness, I'd like to thank the Methuen Exchange Club for this honor. It is with sincere gratitude to you and the committee for selecting me as the recipient of the Book of Golden Deeds. I am going to read this because I don't want to forget anybody. I am humbled and extremely honored to have been chosen. When I first moved to Kirk Street over 32 years ago, I had no idea what was going on around me. I, like so many, got up early in the morning, got the kids ready for school, and headed out to my job. It was dark when I left for work and dark when I got home. I did not know what was going on around my home until one day it was pointed out to me by my 6-year-old daughter. I then started talking with my neighbors and decided we needed to take action. We started a crime watch group with over 100 people in attendance for the first meeting. As a neighborhood group, we decided that to be most effective, we would have to have 3 solutions to every problem that was raised. Our motto was to be solution-oriented. We knew that we had to do something to give the children educational programs to help improve their quality of life and give them educational support to help them make the right choices for their future. Our kids are so great. It's a pleasure to take them on field trips. Everyone always comments on how well behaved they are. Their faces are always so full of smiles and expressions, and they're so eager to learn and please their teachers. We love being a part of their passion for living. Our neighborhood has faced many challenges over the years, but it has only made us stronger. People like Joanne Mejia and Carmen Rosario are the reason for our success. They work at the center every day. They even came to work when times were tough financially to make sure that the programs were still running and children were still receiving services even though they were not being paid. I can tell you that the catchphrase, "all other duties as assigned," has a very broad meaning to them, but they understand it perfectly. They never know what they will be doing from one minute to the next, but they do know that it's always for the kids. They are the glue that keeps this organization together. People like Kathy Ball, Gina Garofolo, Jose and Carmen Cruz, and Rick Dewhurst, who have been there since the beginning, served on the board of directors and have volunteered so many hours. They're over here to my left. They have been instrumental in the positive changes that have occurred. They have given up many days and hours to volunteer in order to make a difference. We have seen our neighborhood go from 16% to 78% home ownership. The people that live there now have a stake in their community. They care what happens around them and they do not hesitate to get involved. That has been the key to the success of turning this around. It is also because of the Methuen Police Department taking an active role to transfer our neighborhood into a safe place where people can raise a family and go to the corner store or take a walk down the street and not be afraid. That was not possible in 1992. It is because of the community policing vision of Chief Joseph Solomon and his team that this neighborhood has thrived and turned around and now enjoys a quality of life today that we never thought was possible. If we can give him a round of applause. They made a commitment to eradicate prostitution and criminal activity in our neighborhood. Back in 1992, there were over 30 prostitutes working the neighborhood, which is the 14th Street area, and over 30 active drug houses. I can say today, prostitutes and drug houses do not exist in my neighborhood because of their efforts. Our success is also because of the Methuen Fire Department. On December 11, 1995, there was a horrific fire in our neighborhood. On this night, a massive fire whipped through the neighborhood and was fueled by the wind. Every house in our neighborhood could have been lost, but due to the quick response by the Methuen Fire Department and all their friends from neighboring towns, not one person or house was lost. A big round of applause for the Methuen Fire. Thank you to Local 1691, you know who you are, for their contributions during the holidays every year to make sure that this Christmas party is a huge success. Our success is also because of several mayors being committed to resolving issues, not just ignoring them. Mayors that knew how important home ownership and Habitat for Humanity was. Mayors who knew how important public safety was. Mayors who knew how important education and a community center was. Mayors who knew how important it was to have a clean city, a solution-oriented city, and so much more. A thank you to Mayor Drosoglio, Mayor Pollan, Mayor Manzi, and Mayor Zani. A special thank you to Councilor Bill Manzi, then Mayor Bill Manzi, and now Volunteer Bill Manzi for all their help then and now. When I practiced it, it only lasted 4 minutes. Thank you to the DPW, the community development, and all facets of City Hall. A big thank you to people like Governor Bill Well, who came to our neighborhood and saw firsthand the changes that can be made when everyone puts aside their issues and works for the betterment of the community. To Senators past and present, Jim Duggan, Steve Bador, and Kathleen O'Connor Ives. State reps past and present, Arthur Broadhurst, Frank Moran, Diana Drosoglio, and Linda Dean Campbell. Our good friend Sheriff Cousins, former Congressman Meehan, Congresswoman Nikki Songas, and I could continue all night listing those that have made a difference in the lives of the residents of our neighborhood that they have not even met, but they knew what they were doing was the right thing. It's people like our friend Arthur Hutton, who gave of his time to organize the food basket drive every year, who donated his labor of love to dig the foundation of the community center and hitch up all the utilities for no money. Arthur and other members of this exchange club have made sure that every child in this neighborhood attend a Christmas party that they sponsor every year. Arthur was always so special to our neighborhood because he cared and he wanted to make a difference. I knew how much it meant to all of us every day. Our volunteers at our annual Christmas party, National Night, and so much more. Eileen Everett, Suhail Ramos, Ruthie Estes, Liz Garofolo, and so many more. They wrap presents and decorate the hall every year to ensure that the kids have a wonderful holiday. Also to the many Santas, AKA Ken Willett, Ken Leone, Bob Redford, and Feliz Navidad, Ted Veritimos. When people come together, things change. As Margaret Mead once said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. My philosophy has always been that I always treat people the way I would want to be treated. Our work at the center has provided many children the opportunity to go forward into the world and have a chance at success. Education is the doorway to a brighter future for all. At this time, I need you to know how important and supportive my family has been. They put up with me going to just so many meetings every night. Getting a call to bring a child to his basketball game because his grandmother just can't get them there and I can't leave the kids at the center. Going Christmas shopping at 3 a.m. on Black Friday so we can get the biggest bang for the buck. Delivering newsletters and flyers throughout the neighborhood to 510 households. Donating clothing from their closet for someone who had an interview and needed an outfit right away. And to my husband Norman for all his support and love for the past 35 years. He also understands the true meaning of all other duties as assigned. The only difference is he never receives a paycheck. Thank you to my mother who brought me up to care about others and treat everyone as I would like to be treated. And thank you to my sister Pam who's always supported our efforts. And on behalf of the residents of the Methuen-Arlington neighborhood, I thank you for your continued support and the efforts to improve the quality of life in our neighborhood. Your kindness and generosity in acknowledging my neighborhood efforts are greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.
Before I present the book of golden deeds, I'm going to ask Chief Solomon to step forward.
Chief.
Well, I guess all you can say is wow, because Linda took everything that I could talk about. But you talk about everybody and everybody's part in this, and together, she's always said we can achieve way more than individuals, and it is true. What she failed to tell you was about the crazy woman we all thought she was when she started. And as a new lieutenant, I was given a directive to go to 7 and 10th Street one night and meet the crazy lady and tell her to shut up and get off the street because we weren't going to do what she wanted us to do. Well, I left that night telling the chief we had to do what she said we had to do, because she was right. And Linda touched on a lot of people and thanked everyone, and it is true what she mentioned, and the support that everybody received from the government. We couldn't have done our jobs without that, and the hard work that every single officer did to make the vision, because Linda had the vision, she was driving the bus, and we're used to being the ones driving, and I learned a very valuable lesson that day, which actually changed the way I believe in policing. I was brought up on tell the people to shut up and we'll tell them what to do. Linda was able to change the thick head to understand about the serve part and not the protect part. And I thank her for forming the way we changed policing. And she did mention about our wonderful support, but there's one thing we can never do. We can't make change without money. And as Linda was thanking everyone, I thought about where did all the money come from? And at the time, Senator Duggan, as a senator and then the Secretary of Public Safety, pumped a significant amount of money into the Methuen-Arlington neighborhood, and had we not had the linchpin of the money, we wouldn't have been able to make all the success and follow the vision of Linda's. So I wanted to thank the senator for that. And obviously this plaque cannot talk and mention everything about Linda, but what we've all learned about Linda is she teaches. She's taught all of us how to transform ourselves and come together as a group and make a neighborhood better. And I truly didn't believe that night in 1995 that you could walk in the Arlington neighborhood one day and be safe, because we locked our cruiser doors and we had a police officer watch our cruisers when we went into calls. Today it's safe, and it's safe because of Linda's dedication. Thank you, Linda, for all you've done.
Nobody's ever seen this award. We have to buy this award specifically from the National Exchange Club out of Toledo, Ohio. It's a beautiful award. What it says is Unity for Service, National Exchange Club Book of Golden Deeds, presented to Linda Susi of the Methuen-Arlington Neighborhood Incorporated for improving public safety, increasing housing and educational opportunities for residents. Her efforts have helped to make the Methuen-Arlington neighborhood a better place to live. This is the 2013 Book of Golden Deeds Award to Linda Susi. That's a tough act to follow. You can write my stuff next year. I'll invite you back. The next award is the Police Officer of the Year for 2013. I'm going to ask the Chief to come on. I mean, you saw what you saw in the book, you read what you read on John Delano. I think he's one of probably Methuen's finalists. Obviously, if he wasn't, he wouldn't be getting this award tonight. Chief Solomon.
Thank you. First, thank you to the Exchange Club. You know, we thank you every single year, but it's very nice to be a member of public safety and be able to be recognized for your achievements. Not only we do our own recognition, but to be recognized by the community and by the leaders of our community means a lot more. And Officer Delano, Detective Delano, is not only a wonderful detective, but he's an awesome person, and so is his whole family. And I want to thank his mother and father for the great job they did bringing up their whole family. I was talking to Mr. and Mrs. Delano earlier, and John is just phenomenal from the Methuen Police, and my daughter's still talking about Mr. Delano from the high school 6 years later. What I would like to do tonight is read the memo written to me by Captain Chris McCarthy, the Bureau Commander, who made the recommendation for Detective Delano. It's written to me, and it says, I would like to nominate Detective John Delano for Methuen Police Department's Officer of the Year 2013. As we are all aware of the several Methuen police officers who deserve this honor, however, it is my belief that Detective Delano has performed above and beyond even our best officers. Please allow me to share with you a couple of outstanding investigations that Detective Delano has recently completed. In the late winter and early spring of 2013, the Merrimack Valley area was targeted with a string of bank robberies that had reached a fever pitch. There were 15 in total. Each robbery was progressively becoming more violent, sometimes with handguns being pointed into the faces of helpless bank employees. Detective Delano was assigned to work solely on apprehending those individuals responsible for the robberies. Detective Delano worked tirelessly on this assignment. He assisted in creating a joint task force that included area police departments as well as federal agencies and state agencies. He also realized the importance of working with bank management and employees, and not only them helping in catching the individual involved, but also on educating them on their safety and on what actions they should take during these robberies. He did this by assisting and hosting a luncheon at the Methuen Police Department to discuss issues as well as in the investigation. Detective Delano eventually got his guy. On Tuesday, April 23rd, 2013, when the task force officers arrested the Merrimack Valley bandit, Raphael Beaumont Jr., and charged him with 15 bank robberies. John wasn't happy with ending this investigation. As he was interviewing Mr. Beaumont on the bank robberies, he thought he looked like a suspect who had robbed a local Methuen convenience store a few weeks earlier. Leave it to John. He got the suspect to admit that he had committed that robbery as well. On May 5th, 2010, about 3 a.m., Detective Delano responded to investigate a brutal attack on a woman who she had been kidnapped at gunpoint and violently raped. As Detective Delano processed the crime scene, collected evidence, and interviewed the women, he knew that whoever had committed this task was a savage serial rapist. John worked endlessly on trying to solve this case, knowing that the vicious rapist would strike again. In October, Detective Pills was investigating another kidnapping and assault that occurred in the city. Detective Delano was clever enough to read between the lines and notice several key facts that were consistent with the earlier case. This time, the detective had a suspect. Detective Delano put together a photo array and showed it to his earlier victim. When the victim seen the photograph, she immediately began to shake, cry loudly, and yell, "That's him." John knew he had his guy again. Detective Delano obtained a warrant, and the suspect was arrested. The case does not end here. The suspect soon made bail and was back on the street. Detective Delano knew it was only time before he would strike again. Over 2 years later, Detective Delano was at a hearing involving the suspect. The suspect was free on bail at this time. Detective Delano watched as the suspect exited the courthouse during a recess in court proceedings. After smoking and discarding his cigarette, the suspect returned to the courthouse. What the suspect didn't realize was that he had just provided Detective Delano with the last piece of evidence John needed. John walked over to the discarded cigarette, the same brand that John had discovered at the original crime scene 2 years earlier, that he had submitted for DNA testing. The DNA was a match. In September 2013, 3 years after the case began, the suspect was found guilty of this brutal assault and was sentenced to 15 years in state prison. I believe this investigation alone by Detective Delano has saved countless area women from being victims of this monster. Being the captain in charge of detectives, I observed John work as a dedicated professional police officer for many years. I'm honored to have Detective Delano represent the Methuen Police Department. It is my great honor to officially ask that he be recognized. What also was in there was, not only was that subject the suspect in that rape, but based upon the DNA that Detective Delano was able to gather, he was connected to rapes going back over 20 years. And Detective Delano helped clear all those cases up. And that was the step that we see an extra detective or police officer take. John could just as well have gone outside, saw him smoke the cigarette, work his case, not go over, not pick up the cigarette butt, not process it properly, and not submit it for DNA. That's the type of police work that we all love, and that's why Detective Delano is such a wonderful investigator. And John, thank you for being a member of our department and making us all proud. Would you like to come up here at this time? Police Department is the ribbons we wear on our. We're currently in the process of expanding ribbons for a lot of officers that don't have them. But what comes with it is a medal that he can wear on his dress uniform for special events. So he'll have a medal and a pin. It's very well deserved, John.
The Methuen Exchange Club reads Police Officer of the Year, presented to John Delano in recognition of his dedication, commitment, and professional service to his community, both on and off duty, presented by the Methuen Exchange Club, November the 19th, 2013.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the Exchange Club for this great event you guys have. I'm very honored to receive the award. I want to thank the Chief and Captain McCarthy for nominating me, and that was very nice. And all of my brothers and sisters from the department, getting to work with them is a pleasure. It sounds kind of corny, but it's nice to work with a lot of people like being the good guys and going and find the bad guys. A lot of the success of this case and all these cases that we have comes from a lot of cooperation from a lot of really hard-working, good people, like state, local, and even federal agencies. And none of this would be possible without that. I mean, when you watch TV, you always see, everybody's fighting over who's going to get the credit for it. It's completely the opposite of that. I can't think of any bad experiences in working with different agencies, and everybody wants to, bad guys, we go, bad guys, that's our philosophy. I'd like to thank my family and friends for all their tolerance and patience and love and understanding, for all the times you miss stuff and have to get called out and have stuff on your mind so you're not exactly there. Well, even while you're with them, you're not there either, because you're always thinking about the case or thinking about some other stuff, or answering phone calls or answering voicemail or email, or all the other ways they can reach you at any time, which is not necessarily a bad thing. That's what we like. That's what is part of the job. And most notably, I'd like to thank, there's that old saying that behind every good man there's a great woman, and that's my wife, Michelle. I don't know how she did a great job. She's the one that, when I get called at 3 in the morning, she just kind of rolls over and says, okay, I'll take care of it this morning, go do what you gotta do. Or I call her we have plans, something, and I call at 5 o'clock and say, sorry, we're doing a search warrant tonight, I'm going to be here till midnight. And no stress, no bad words, no changing of the lots or anything else in the house. But, like I said, once again, I appreciate all the support of everybody in my life, and that's the only way we can do this job. Thank you very much.
You're going to get your chance in a minute. I can do some administrative. Who are we and what do we do? Well, obviously you know we're the Exchange Club. What do? We do a lot of stuff in the community. I mean, you heard from Linda Susie, we're pretty involved with her. We're involved with St. Anne's Home, we have a cookout for them each year. We take them to a spinners game. They think they're at the Red Sox. I mean, there's some sad stories over at St. Anne's Home, and we're glad to be a part of it because our function in exchange throughout America is for the prevention of child abuse. And we do an awful lot in the community with this small group of 50-some-odd people that we have. And I just want to highlight a few things. It's in the book, but we were chartered in 1983. They had 29 members. Several members that were in the charter organization are still with us today. We support the Michael B. Christensen Family Support Center in Lawrence in their annual Blue Ribbon campaign. We honor 3 high school, sometimes 4 high school students. The same night we honor a Senior Citizen of the Year award. We call that Seniors Night. Alpha Hutton came up with that idea a few years ago. Instead of having 2 separate events, why don't we just call it Seniors Night, so we bring seniors from high school in to get their it sounds corny, I know.
No, it's good.
We bring them in, and then senior citizens probably have 80 or 90 people, and they love it because they know we're raffling off some pies afterward, some scratch tickets. And but we do a lot, like I said, with the Arlington neighborhood. I'm not going to talk about that. Our next event coming up, we have a program with the Toys for Tots. We have 2 Marines show up at our dinner in dress blues. We give them several hundred dollars worth of toys for the Toys for Tots program because, again, children are involved. That's the theme of our national organization. We march in a parade every year, and we give out anywhere between 2,000 and 2,200 small American flags. I'm sure you've seen us, you know. We talked about the food baskets, the Senior Citizen of the Year, and our largest event that we do each year, you should take note of this. Because if you want to take your husband or your wife or your significant other or your spouse out to eat for $30 in May, you can come to the original Taste of Methuen. We have 22 restaurants, and they don't come in and give you a plate this big, okay? They give you a regular dinner-sized plate, and you can walk around the whole event, fill it up as many times as you want. If you lose your plate, you just grab another one. For $30, it's the best bang in Methuen, let me tell you that. All this money that we raise, we just give it right back to the community in Methuen. The food baskets, the St. Anne's Home, you name it. I mean, this year we've raised quite a few dollars, and we're going to spend all that money right back here in Methuen, thanks to your generosity. So that's what we do. And before we start, Chief, I know you're waiting, you want to go home, there might be a fire. I would just like to ask all the Exchange members to please stand. If you're a member of the Exchange Club, please stand. So you just saw those faces. Take home your booklet. You have some of our names because our motto is something similar to the Marines' motto. The Marines are looking for a few good men. The Exchange Club is looking for a few good men and women. We're business executives, we're business owners, we're moms, we're dads, we're grandmothers, we're grandfathers, we work in banks. I mean, the diversity amongst the club is spread out far. We do a lot for the community. I just want to mention that. Before I forget, I want to say thank you for the Methuen Police Department Honor Guard. That was tremendous, guys. Thank you. I want to say thanks to Lieutenant Gary from the Fire Department. Is he still here? The next American Idol movie, huh? Thank him, Chief, will you? I want to thank MCTV, to Tom and Fran Grazowitz. They were here the last several years. They filmed this. You can watch us on TV. You can make fun of me when you get home. Oh, I'm on TV. I want to thank Sam and Michelle Amber from Simply Elegant Catering, the caterer here at the Merrimack Valley Golf Club. I want to thank Steve Whipple from Methuen Life for coming down and covering the event. I also want to thank Tom Duggan from the Valley Patriot as well for coming down and covering the event. I'd like to ask Chief Buick to come forward, please.
Wow. I didn't think anybody could beat Linda Susie. Wow. Good evening, everybody. Thanks, Jack. Before I begin, I just want to mention that I think we may have already found our Firefighter of the Year for next year. Deputy Fregala stepped outside for a moment, and lo and behold, found a fire in the bark mulch. Apparently somebody discarded a cigarette and started a small fire instantly. Thank goodness he stepped outside because the alarms would have went off and would have been rudely interrupted and would have been here even later. And yes, Jack, it is past my bedtime. Thank you. So, Captain Buick, can you investigate that when we're finished tonight? We have a suspect. Detective Delaney, you want to work with me? Well, first, let me thank the Methuen Exchange Club for annually recognizing those in the community who make a difference. I know many of the members of the Exchange Club, and your compassion and dedication is commendable. I feel it is important to honor those in our community who have performed in such an exceptional way that it deserves special recognition. This is not in any way meant to take away from those who carry out their duties flawlessly each and every day. It is, however, recognition of what someone has done above and beyond their normal duties. Methuen firefighter Michael Sullivan is the 2013 Firefighter of the Year Award recipient. Firefighter Sullivan is 36 years old. He's married and has 2 children, whom I understand are learning to play the wonderful sport of hockey. Mike was born in Germany and raised in Lawrence. He attended St. Patrick's Grammar School. You didn't even know that.
Someone's in trouble with the time.
He attended St. Patrick's Grammar School, graduated from Central Catholic High School, and he moved to Methuen in 1995. Mike was appointed to the Methuen Fire Department in 2005. He graduated from the Massachusetts Firefighter Academy and is certified by the Massachusetts Fire Training Council as being trained and certified to the Firefighter 1 and 2 levels. He's a certified Massachusetts Emergency Medical Technician and is also certified in Emergency Medical Dispatch. Mike earned his Associate in Science degree in Fire Protection and Safety Technology from North Shore Community College and holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration from Fitchburg State University. He's also certified in Confined Space Rescue, Hazardous Materials Operations, as well as various other fire-related certifications. Prior to his appointment to the Methuen Fire Department, Mike was enlisted in the United States Air Force Reserve. In 2004, he was activated and deployed to Kuwait for 1 year. He was deactivated January 31st, 2005, and started on the Methuen Fire Department the following day, February 1st, 2005. Following 11 years of service to the United States Air Force, Mike was honorably discharged. Upon graduation from the Mass Fire Academy, Mike was assigned to dispatch duties. Following his duties in dispatch, he was assigned to ambulance duty for several years, which I know he thoroughly enjoyed. Mike was subsequently assigned to various pieces of apparatus, and he's currently assigned to Rescue 1 at the Central Fire Station. He continues to be active in the Methuen Fire Department functions, such as Toys for Tots, the annual Senior Citizen Dinner, and the Methuen Firefighter Memorial Observance, as well as the annual 911 observance, just to name a few. He regularly volunteers his time for parades, funerals, and other activities. Mike has been nominated for the Methuen Exchange Club's 2013 Firefighter of the Year Award due to his actions this past summer while vacationing in Mexico. As many people were enjoying the pleasure of the water off the beach of Mexico, the surf suddenly became dangerously rough, with a strong undertow. The current kept pulling everyone that was in the water further out. A lifeguard on the beach began whistling and waving for everyone to get out of the water. As Mike began to make his way out of the water, he noticed a struggling swimmer approximately 75 feet away from him. Mike observed a woman having great difficulty in the rough, heavy surf of the ocean. He watched as she got pulled under the water and then popped back up again. As everyone else was exiting the water, Mike turned back out into the water and swam towards her. At this point, the lifeguard was still standing on the beach watching. He pulled her through the heavy current and waves back to the beach. She told him that she would have drowned had he not come back out for her. Later that morning, the swimmer and her husband came back to the beach and thanked Mike repeatedly, as they were very appreciative of his help. Others who were present witnessed Mike's actions, as well as the statements from the woman and her husband. She stated that she truly believed that she had taken her final breath when Mike arrived and pulled her to safety. In an unrelated event, Firefighter Sullivan, while assigned to a construction detail at Methuen High School, placed himself at risk to render care to a construction worker who had fallen and landed on the lower roof. The worker had impaled himself through his bicep. Mike went out onto the unstable roof surface to render medical care to the injured worker and bring him back to safety. He then called by portable radio requesting an ambulance response. Mike cared for the patient while awaiting the arrival of the ambulance. I'm told that construction workers will not go out onto that section of the roof without a harness because it's too unsafe, but Mike did. Told you he loved ambulance duty. Mike Sullivan is proof that Methuen firefighters make a difference in people's lives each and every day when performing their job on duty and also when off duty. Congratulations to Michael Sullivan for this well-deserved honor, and it is my pleasure to award him the 2013 Firefighter of the Year. Please allow me to introduce to you Methuen Firefighter Michael Sullivan.
So the plaque reads Firefighter of the Year presented to Michael Sullivan in recognition of his unparalleled dedication, commitment, and service to his community, both on and off duty. Methuen Exchange Club Firefighter of the Year, November 19, 2013.
The Exchange Club, the recognition, I appreciate it. Chief Buick, Chief Hamill, for the nomination. My family and friends for the support, and to my firefighter brothers, I appreciate being here tonight. Thank you.
I told somebody we were going to be out of here by 9 o'clock. It was me. I had 9 o'clock. All right, so before we leave tonight, I'd ask all the recipients to remain and gather up here next to the Exchange Club banner. I know Steve Whipple wants to take some photographs, probably capture some names, and make sure the spelling's correct. Steve writes a great article each year, supports us, so thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our program for tonight. Thank you very much.